Happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us on the Sprint this afternoon and this evening. Again, we're all about taking that break from that heavy news cycle of the day and give you guys something to talk about, something to smile about, something to scratch your head about. For example, today's story that we're talking about later on in the Sprint involves this guy right here. Yeah. You see this half-naked dude? He thought it was a good idea to get into somebody else's house, take a bath, eat, and go to sleep for a second. We're going to talk about it, exactly how these homeowners have to deal with this situation. Again, it is a story you do not want to miss. That's coming up later on in the Sprint. But for right now, let's get into some positive news stories that are happening right here from a local level. Okay, from the Star City to the city where stars are born. J.J. Redick, you've heard about this. His multi-talented career landed him now into the NBA's top coaching league, the NBA Los Angeles Lakers, man. Shout out to this dude. Okay, so the Cave Spring High School basketball standout carries along success with where he goes. All started with him playing under Coach Billy Hicks. Where playing under Coach Hicks, Redick was able to bring Cave Spring to its first state basketball title. 10 News spoke with Coach Hicks about Redick's ability to take on this coaching gig.
Was there ever a part of you that could see him being a coach when you saw him out there on the court?
He definitely has the coach's mentality, the coach's mind. He's always thought the game. He's a deep thinker, really intelligent human being. Always knew X's and O's. You could tell him something one time and he got it. And he didn't just understand the play. Like, okay, the play calls for me to go here. He understood the concept.
Yeah, so Coach Hicks says that he looks forward to going to a game to see Redick coaching in person. That is so exciting. I love having those kind of close ties like that because it kind of like puts it in perspective that local talent can make it to the big leagues, man. Can make that money, do what he got to do. But congratulations right there. We all know the bond between us and our fur babies, super duper strong. And what better way to have a good work day than to bring your fur baby to work? Because it is National Go to Work with Your Parents Day, or Go to Work with Your Fur Baby Day, whatever the technical term is. You know what I'm trying to say. Bring your dog into work to have a good time. Holiday has been celebrated in the U.S. every Friday after Father's Day since 1999. But some companies celebrate every single day. Petco and PetSmart both have animal-friendly policies for employees. Amazon also jumped on the trend, started allowing workers to bring pets. Dogs can reduce stress, increase productivity, and help employees stay healthy with physical activities. I can see how this is a thing. I think it could add on some positive distraction as well, because anytime I see a dog, I'm like, immediately I have to touch them, or immediately I have to show us some attention. So, yeah, bring your dog to work. Enjoy the holiday today. And speaking of dogs, man, you know that thing that they get called the zoomies, where they just go crazy for no reason at all? Well, apparently, they're known for going 0 to 100. Again, this is known as the zoomies, but there's actually a medical term for this goofy sprint, and it's called frenetic random activity period, or FRAP for short.
Typically, we see FRAPs happen at times of transition through the day. So it might be like when their owner gets home from work or a guest is coming over.
Dr. Stewart says the zoomies can also happen before or after a meal, after being groomed, or before bedtime. She says it may seem random to us, but it's their way of communicating they are ready and willing to be active. Yeah, so Bo, my dog, he does this, and he's a pretty doggone big boy. So anytime he catches the zoomies, I'm kind of terrified because, again, that could be something very seriously destructive. Again, Bo has flipped a couch before because he's done this, but it's so cool because you can see it in their eyes. They're ready to go. And every time he gets started, I'm like, Bo, and he does this thing where he looks, and then he'll do that, and he'll like you could just tell him he's just wanting to jump out of his skin. But either way, zoomies are good news. And hey, if you got a dog, let them do it if they can do it safely. I always say it's cute when the smaller dogs do it. When bigger dogs do it, watch out. Speaking of which, let's get into the weather forecast. It might be too hot to take your dog out for a walk, but you might just want to keep that on the front of your mind, especially when they're dealing with their puppy pads on the hot surfaces and on AstroTurf, all that good stuff. Either way, meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us right now with Friday forecast.
Happy Friday, guys. Here's a look at what we're tracking as we go through the next several days. Today, slightly hotter than yesterday. High temperatures outside of the mountains in the lower 90s. It's by this weekend that we see near record heat in Roanoke and in Lynchburg. I'll show you that here in just a few seconds in the extended forecast. Drought, however, has settled into parts of the region, Roanoke, Lynchburg, and the Highlands. We need some widespread rain. We're not getting it this weekend, just a few hit or miss storms late Sunday and again on Monday. Next week, still very hot. High temperatures about 90 to 95 degrees.
All right. I love it, man. That's my boy. Always doing something behind the scenes for us, giving us our forecast that we need, man. Coming up after the break, man, we're getting into some slipping and sliding action with some elderly people who had some fun out in the sun. We're also talking about a donkey who disappeared but was found with some other kinfolk of his. And we're getting into this story right here, dealing with this dude who decided to make himself at home in a person's house. Complete stranger right there. Yeah, it's a whole vibe and a whole kind of story. So we're going to get into that after the break. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to WSLS.com on the Sprint. Welcome back to the Sprint, man. If you are needing a place to stay cool, I suggest you guys get in the pools, use those splash pads, do whatever you need to do to get outside, be active in the sun. But here we got a group of senior citizens who are in Tennessee, had some fun beating the heat in their slip and slide situation. So they call it the Adams Place Assisted Living, hosted their ride and slide. Residents of the center were sprayed with water as firefighters pulled them down to the slide on big inflatable tubes. Now, some of the seniors said that the ride and slide made them feel young again, and it's a fun way to cool off.
Oh, it's fun. It's exhilarating. Last year they had it kind of on the hill, and we moved a little faster.
Yeah, so this is the third consecutive year Adams Place has held this event. It looks super fun, man. And I'm sure that they're being very, very safe and careful with our senior citizens out there. But the fact that they're saying that they get to enjoy this, like, you know, kids out in the yard playing around with the sprinkler and stuff, this is always a fun story to do. Look at them having so much fun. You know, I love seeing this, man. Shout out to them having that sense of normalcy, bringing them back to their childhood. Let's get into this, man. This is a donkey named Diesel who, again, ran away during a hike outside of his Sacramento home 5 years ago. Well, he was spotted recently, but he was hanging out with some of his friends, okay? So after searching for weeks, the owners of the pet donkey assumed the worst. Earlier this year, a hunter spotted him with a herd of at least a dozen elk in Northern California wilderness. His owners saw the footage and confirmed that it is in fact Diesel, that's the donkey's name, but they say that they're not going to try to get him back because it looks like he's living his best life. He's happy and healthy. So yeah, look at Diesel keeping up with the elk. I love seeing stories like this because, again, you just don't see it every day. You just automatically assume that animals stay with their kind. No, Diesel's just like, yo, man, they look fun. They look active. I still got some years in me. Let me go live large. And he did just that. So shout out to Diesel, man. Let that be an encouragement to you to go out there and explore, take risks. Don't do it dangerously, though. But again, you might find some friends that end up being your family members. All right. Group of friends in Southern California experienced a very odd home invasion recently. A naked man came into their house, seemingly not to steal anything, but to make himself at home. Y'all, here's the story. It's kind of wild. Check it out.
Pushed him out. The guy started asking for a place to sleep after eating.
These friends retraced the steps a complete stranger, believed to be homeless, took Tuesday after entering this home and yard through an unlocked door. Barath Kanaganti wasn't home at the time, but his roommate called him terrified, asking what he should do.
Are you scared or?
Yeah, as I told you, like, this is the first time happening in these surroundings.
Wearing next to nothing, they say this man made himself at home, using the bathroom, taking a shower, and snacking while their stunned friend and roommate begged him to leave. Afraid to leave the guy alone on the property, they say their friend tried to keep his distance while pleading with the man.
He ate the banana sitting in the chair in the kitchen, refusing to leave, and he's like, now I need to sleep.
Ashwin Reddy was on FaceTime with his friend as it was all happening.
And when you were on the phone with him and you're seeing the guy out here, were you like,
I was like, call 911, what the hell are you doing? It's crazy.
When the intruder went outside, his friend locked the door, saying he was scared by the scars on the man's back and intimidated to call police. The stranger napped in the yard and stayed for more than 3 hours. When their pal eventually did call 911, they say officers arrived in no time and arrested the man on the sidewalk outside. No one was hurt, at least not physically.
We never imagined these kind of incidents happens in the Burbank.
It feels a little unsafe, especially with the incidents like this. Now we're definitely locking everything up.
That is a crazy situation. Look, this man was knocked out. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. What? Like, how comfortable? Okay, bro, get comfortable. Let's get Jazz in. Jazz, do you see Homeskiller is face down on the grass?
He made himself at home.
Look, cuz like this, I will.
Shower, so I'm taking me a nap now.
I'm telling you, man, it's stories like this that you think to yourself, what in the world are people thinking?
He had to not have been in his right mind. He probably is without a home and was looking for somewhere to get a hot shower and rest, but he clearly was not in his right mind. I the first story that I've seen like this. I don't think I've ever seen these stories like that. It's interesting, but the fact that like the homeowner's reaction is hilarious to me because I can only imagine that he certainly did not expect to see that when he went around his home.
Oh yeah,
and just chilling. I'm sure he did not expect to see that day. So I know he'll remember this for the rest of his life.
Hey, and I'm telling you, hey, thank God that these homeowners were as peaceful as they were, because had it been my parents, had it been people out there who own a little something, he might not have been in the best situation.
People would have. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I couldn't have imagined what it would have been like if it would have been my dad.
Yeah. Our parents don't play.
Because my dad, he used to be in the Marines, so he has quite the temper. And he's one of those people, he reacts first.
Yes.
When something like that happens. So I'm glad it didn't end as badly as it could have. I don't know what was going on with the guy, but I'm glad that everything ended well, and no one was hurt. The homeowner wasn't hurt, so I'm glad that it unfolded in the way that it did. Hopefully, they are able to get some assistance that he may need. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy story.
Definitely, man. Ending the week on a good note, Jazz. All right, girl. You have a good one, girl.
All right, bye.
Look, I mean, 100%. Again, we're not advocating for violence whatsoever, but hey, it is what it is. You do that in the right household, you might be walking away with a little bit more on your body than clothes. So yeah, thank God that this dude was in a peaceful situation. He was arrested, and hopefully he learns not to do that moving forward. And also let this story be kind of an educational thing to you guys to not do that moving forward. And not to say that you will, but either way, it's something to talk about. I hope you guys, this major day, if you're out having lunch or you're eating dinner together and this is on and playing in the background, I hope that this brought you some type of entertainment aspect. All right, guys, speaking of which, we about to roll out of here. Got to go get in some pools or something. Stay cool this weekend. We'll be back here with you guys again next Monday, again at 12:30 p.m. at 6:30 p.m., a place where you can always take a break from the heavy news cycle of the day and just enjoy having conversations and getting those talkers going and fired up at the dinner table or the lunch table. We'll see you then, WSLS.com on the Sprint.